I know for all of us. For me, it was busy.
Okay, I think it's recording.
Did you
Yes.
figure it out?
Yeah.
We had our meetup on Tuesday in Roswell.
New place, right?
A
How
lot of
was
running
it?
around in the place. I liked it. What do you think, Simon?
Yeah, I had a great time there. It was good to I haven't been to a meetup in a while, so it was really great to go and see everybody. I met Doug there. Hey Doug, how are you? Good morning. A lot of new people that I hadn't seen before that I think are just new to our group, so it was great.
Yes, there was a lot of women there, which is amazing. I saw a lot of women that are in the industry, doing their thing, which is amazing. So yeah, I thought it was great.
Awesome.
Who's
Awesome.
guys? As we're allowing people to come in this morning, who's new? Who's new to the group? Caroline. I remember Caroline. Hey, Caroline.
Good morning. Yes, it was a great Tuesday evening. Weather was perfect. And yeah, it was fun being outside too. And yes, there was a lot. I mean, it was kind of a small space for everybody, and heard that was kind of a normally it's actually a little bit bigger group. So as far as the space, it was fun. Drinks were great, and the people were great. So
Yes, we're glad to have you. Yes, and great
thank
meeting
you.
you there too, Caroline.
So Caroline, are you a realtor?
No, I'm a home investor, private money lender.
Nice. Nice meeting you. I couldn't make to the meetup, but I've
Yeah,
seen
we
your
missed you.
name. No, I've seen your name out there.
This is
Yeah.
probably my third or fourth time being on the Zoom, but I've been
Nice.
kind of in the background.
Well,
So
what are you focusing on?
right now I have like two that should be finishing up in the next 2 weeks. I think you commented on one of my houses on Facebook. So,
That's what I knew. I said, I know that name. So is that a co-living?
well, let me ask you: is co-living the same thing as pad split?
Yes. Co
Okay,
co-living is the name of the strategy. It's shared housing or
yeah,
that's what it is.
it's
Pet split is like Airbnb, the platform that
okay.
yeah.
So yes, it was a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and now it is going to be a 5 bedroom, 3 bath with two full kitchens, two full laundry rooms.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. How
yeah.
big is it?
Don't remember the square footage, but the basement was completely
Yeah.
overridden with mold, and we got that all gutted and cleaned up, and
So so,
added
so
that whole new
uh,
bottom basement living space.
in what area?
This is in Athens, Georgia.
Okay, wow, nice. I had somebody asking me about Athens. Is that
Yeah.
gonna be your first one or
No, 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 no. I've done probably a dozen in my probably a dozen in my career.
like in
Um,
Athens?
No, not in Athens,
No.
mostly in
Okay.
Cumming,
Okay.
Georgia.
Okay, good. Because somebody was asking, about student housing, how the
it's
Yeah, yeah.
bedroom perform.
hey, Chris, on Athens, just to give you another perspective, is that I have my investor who I work with, and I kind of do his construction and his deal and stuff like that, and he has co-living in Athens, and it does really well for him
Oh, really?
because it's student housing,
It's
mostly
students.
students. That's correct. Yes.
Oh,
Well,
Yes.
I was sharing with the group that my daughter graduated last May, and there was no hotel space, so everybody was like trying to find Airbnbs, and we were there for like 3 or 4 nights, and it ended up being over like $3,000 just for those 3 or 4 days. And I was just like, this is crazy. I mean, it was a beautiful place that we rented, but there's a lot going on other than football. Lots going on in Athens.
I know
So,
it's cute. It's cute. Can I ask you something else?
mhm.
The property that you guys are getting now, gonna go live soon. Did you get a fix and flip loan? What kind of financing did you?
Yeah, we got a hard money loan. We bought it for 235. I don't know the numbers as far as how much rehab we're putting in, but it's going to be close to probably less than 70,000. And
Okay.
it praises for the ARV is going to be around maybe 460 on the conservative side.
Nice. And then you guys
Yeah.
gonna do the SCR loan once you're done?
I think we're
Your
just going
shop?
to list it. We're just going to list it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
We haven't really decided, so we'll see what the finished product looks like.
Good. I like the white painting, you know, like
Thank you.
yeah.
That was my idea. So
That's what I
I
like.
wanted a fresh look.
You can be creative. That's what I love about fix and flip. Like you can put your
Yeah.
creativity there and make it work. All right. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody else new? I'm gonna start calling names. Who do we
Hey,
have?
Michelle's here. I'm fairly new.
Hey, Michelle.
I
How are
went to the meetup and hey, good. And the co-living tour.
Yes. How have you been? So you're new to Sub 2. Can you tell a little bit about yourself? I know
Sure,
you, but yeah.
sure. So I'm a W-2 right now, and I joined Sub2 to start on my real estate investing journey. I'm still not sure what area I want to focus on. So learning right now, definitely interested in the co-living after seeing the tour. You know, I can definitely see the advantages of that versus other options. So still getting up to speed and meeting everyone. And I did appreciate the meetup this week. That was cool to see everybody in person. And it was a good
Nice.
location.
Okay, good.
Right off 400 and plenty of parking.
Yes, perfect. I think, yeah, we used to do Roswell before we kind of paused the meetups and then we went to Swanee, last time. But I love the
Mhm.
Roswell area. So I'm
Yeah.
glad, the place was okay. I heard good things. So welcome.
Amazing. Welcome, guys. So just kind of a topics, right? So we're looking at different topics. I wanted to come and I want to see what you guys had in terms of ideas and topics. Just something for us to kind of go over a little bit. But I had some ideas I want to go over. Talk, I think the first one, and I want to hear what you guys think on the side, guys. If I'm struggling because I'm trying to figure out my direction and talk at the same time. But I wanted to see. So we are gonna kind of talk a little bit. Today is going to be a little bit more about business and business ownership, right? And then also that's one topic. The other topic is also women and women in entrepreneurship, women in business, right? I've had in my lifetime, I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of women, with my wonderful partner here, Christiani, and also, being in the beauty and the salon industry. It was pretty much I work with all women. And as a quick story, that I thought women were the craziest, group in the universe. For 18 years, I worked with all women, and as I complained to myself, I went and switched over to the men industry. Working in construction and working with all men, and I realized that men gossip more and worse than women. So that's my little quick story about just that particular topic, right? So that's some of the topics. Some other things I know we've been talking a lot about co-living. Um, is another topic, right? But just what are some topics that you guys want to hear and you guys just are curious about? I also had an idea to do, kind of like a quick session of like a coaching call, right? Which means like, do you have a deal? Let's talk about a deal. Let's run through a deal. Is it a deal or a new deal? Something, things like that. What ideas do you guys have? If you guys can put on the side some ideas that you guys have, or do you like those ideas of topics? You can put it on the side, or you guys can come up and just talk a little bit, guys.
I would be interested in. I remember the Zoom meeting with Melanie, the attorney, and she was talking about like structuring, your deals, whether or not they're like individual LLCs or do you put them in a trust. So those are the kind of things that I would kind of be interested in kind of discussing furthermore.
I know
Okay. Okay.
I'm just texting her. She has a closing right at 9, so she's gonna miss the Zoom. But we can, Pat, talk to her. I'm gonna hop on a call with her after she's done with closing. But we can see if she can come next Friday. I would love to hear that too, from the attorney perspective. So
Exactly.
yeah, for
Yes.
next
Great.
Friday.
Okay. Okay. That's a good topic. Insurance. We talked about insurance. Yep, that's something that's going to be something we're going to bring up too. That's a good idea. We're
Oh,
going to have
yes.
a great
They're our
host.
sponsors, guys. So we want to give them a lot of
Yes.
business. They come in, they have no
We,
problems answer
yes.
all the questions.
We do have an in-house insurance, a creative insurance, locally here in Atlanta, and he's going to be amazing. But I'm not going to spill the beans on him yet because we're going to bring him on one of our shows that we're going to have, and we're going to talk about all things insurance, creative insurance, co-living insurance, sub two insurance, and things like that. So that's going to be an amazing topic. Thanks for bringing that up, Doug.
I don't know if you talked about this before, but I did structure one of my properties completely through my self-directed IRA, and I can probably get somebody from my IRA to come and speak to this group if that's something you're interested in doing.
I love that topic. I think that's a great topic. And I think we have a few people in the group that also can chime in on that too, right, Doug?
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Especially
okay.
knowing the limits to not trip over the IRS regulations.
Yes, that's a great topic. So no, I love that. So those are amazing topics, guys. Those are stuff that we're gonna have to bring to the table and start scheduling it out from a scheduling standpoint. So okay, awesome.
Perfect.
Okay, so let's talk about on our topic today. Just I want to segue into from women's entrepreneurship into our kind of our guests and our help today. Are you still there, Tracy? Was she out?
I don't see her on camera, Pat.
Okay. She was at her candy store. But guys, so just I guess while we kind of have her on there.
So I just say hi because I haven't spoken to him in a while.
Yes.
George, can you hear me? He's probably on the phone.
Okay, and the other topic that I had too, Chris, is so last week? I don't remember, guys. My week has been so busy. Last week,
I'm here. Sorry.
We had a fractional, right? We had Stella from fractional. So we are, I think, should be going live
Pat,
either
did
tomorrow.
You call me? It's Tracy. Did you call
hey,
me?
Tracy,
Sorry,
yes.
I walked away from my phone. So sorry.
No problem. No, yeah, we're gonna kind of start our conversation. But
good.
But before, just give me a second. I think Chris has
no
a
worries.
topic. And then on my topic, Chris, I just want to bring it up. So we had Stella from Fractional. So we are launching our co-living fractional club that we're going to start. All right. So we have some deals in the pipeline for some co-living property. So if you guys are interested, as low as $5,000 to up, we are going to start raising capital for the club for co-living. So we have some deals that are in the pipeline that we're probably gonna. If you guys want to get involved, you want to learn, you want to be a part of it, it's definitely a great opportunity. Do you want to add anything to that, Chris? I know I've just kind of been going through.
Can I ask?
Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, just so top of mind is, I think people are going to ask: are we looking for 6-month PMLs to purchase and get it ready, or are you looking for PMPs to ride it for a couple of years?
It's going to vary, right? It's going to vary.
Okay.
So I don't have an answer for you at the moment. It just depends on the deal and the property. So we have, so the thing is, everybody's going to have a different flavor, right? A different taste. Do you want the money in? Do you want the money out? Do you want to stay in the deal? Do you want to just learn the deal? Do you want to be a part of the deal? And for us, it's about scaling, right? So there's guys, I guess this is some of my challenge and struggle as I'm going through the last month of the fourth quarter, right? We have this, and I just want to talk freely a little bit. You hear all these things about the news. You hear about these things about, the government, the taxes, people losing their job, all this crazy stuff in your head, right? At the same time, if you, for me at least, I'm doing my best to ignore all of that and say, okay, what's really going to happen? What's really going on? And in these times, what is the opportunity that's going to open up? And as I'm trying to ignore that, I'm only human, so I can only do so much. But as I'm realizing and I'm seeing opportunities after opportunities after opportunities, and some of them they're crap opportunities. But when is that going to crack? Right? When is the opportunity going to crack? And and where are we going to be standing when it starts to rise back up? So I'm researching. I'm looking at different, what do you call those bar graphs? Those things that go up and down. The the trends, right? I'm looking at different trends, and it seems like and I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an economist, but it seems like from the trends that not this year, but probably next year, everything should start rising back up, right? But at the same time, we're seeing an all-time high in foreclosures. We're seeing all these properties that are going to be kind of sitting there. But at the same time, people still need housing, right? Like the people that I think it affects and doesn't affect. Does it affect government workers? Yeah, it does affect government workers. Does it affect people with different industry? Yes, it does. But at the same time, the guys, at least from what we see from co-living and affordable housing, the guys that work at Amazon, that works as an Uber driver, that works those factory jobs, they're not going to go anywhere. They still need housing. They still need places to stay. So we see all these opportunities. So that's my struggle. Like my struggle in my mind is that there's opportunities. Are we going to capture these opportunities? How are we going to scale? When is it going to happen? When is it going to crack? And obviously, I can't doing anything by yourself, guys. It's hard. It is extremely, extremely hard. I am always a true believer in teamwork, and I'm a true believer in working together. I'm a true believer in community, and I think that's why when Chris and I had a long conversation, we're like, I think this is a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to scale. It's a great opportunity to pull you guys together, to pull the community together, and scale and start tackling these opportunities as a community, as a team.
Yeah, what I know that I know people, like primary homes, primary buyers, they are applying for mortgages. Was, last month was up 11%. I mean, we put our flips, we closed this week, like I've seen some changes there. I know from you guys, I want to hear from you guys too. I know some people are realtors here. I want to hear from you, Josh. But I have not been seeing good deals out there for, because like I have a particular buy box, but I have not seen good deals. What I see is, because I do private money lending too, and people contact me because they cannot sell their homes, right? They're fixing flippers, they're stuck, they're doing those holding costs, and they're still not able to sell, right? Even if they discount a lot. And so I'm seeing that population there, and I'm seeing the retail people coming out, but I think it's becoming more of a buyer's market. And I want to see from you guys, like, because I like what I see, but it's a time for me, like I'm being a little cautious with fix and flips, where I want to get co-living, but getting to the right property, because the prices of the homes might go down, but interest rates are coming down too. So do you see what I mean? Like it's that thing that it's like I'm just watching, looking at deals, see what's good for me. Josh, have you seen, like, what have you seen? Because I know you wholesaler, you do, have you seen more deals coming up, interesting deals, what you've
Yes
seen?
and no. I'm getting a lot of people reach out to me to help them exit creatively.
Yeah,
A buddy of mine did a batch of flips out in Atlanta, and his holding costs are $40,000 a month. So he's like, "Hey, can you help me kind
deals,
of
silent killer.
figure out a lease option thing that we can get these so it can at least alleviate my holding costs or whatever?" And they're beautiful places. Like literally, one of them went viral on TikTok. Like they're amazing, and they're just sitting. So I'm seeing a lot of that, which kind of circles back to what you were saying about being conservative on the flip side of things. Um, but yeah, in terms of wholesale deal, cash deals, again, I prefer doing seller finance, which is kind of also good for these people that have deals sitting. So I thought that was going to kind of phase out a little bit top of the year because everybody was so optimistic about where the market was going to go. So what I'm noticing is, if I can kind of chalk it up into one little thing, is that I think sellers were also optimistic about where the market was going to go top of the year with the new administration and everything. And they're kind of holding firm on prices, even though they're kind of really shouldn't, right? Like I just sent Pat a couple of things last night, and one of them just helping out a closing attorney of mine. And she's like, "Hey, this lady got screwed over. Can you like the exterior is done? Can you help her out?" And I'm not even trying to make money on it. I'm just like, "Yeah, sure, I'll help you find somebody." Like just kind of passing it around and see who bites. But it's interesting to where I think at least with flippers, they're being more conservative, almost like maybe in 2022. It feels like that again. Like when rates first shot up at the end of 22, beginning of 23, I think flippers are kind of having their numbers more conservative like that market was.
Oh, yeah. If you guys are looking for, I have this flipper that she can't sell her fix and flip in what is that area called? What is the area near Mableton? Austell? And I walk through the property, and I like it, but like I want to do co-living. So, but it's a very interesting, and she's willing to negotiate. If you guys want more details, I can give from her. Just hit me up, and I'll send you guys. You guys can talk to her. But it's gonna be a loan. She has a hard money lender. She's trying to get out. She also has like just trying to get out of just dispose, sell it, and move on. If you guys are looking for something like that, let me know. Anybody else want to say anything? Tisha?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I see you. How are you?
Good.
What are you seeing?
It's about the same. I think that we have some sellers that are, overzealous and they believe, of course, I always say to the sellers, the house goes to the highest bidder. So if you believe the house is worth more than the market will give you, you get to keep it. Unfortunately, they are not, listening to me. I'm sorry, there's a plane going by. They're not listening to me prior to, but I'm at the space where the seller is not motivated. I'm not taking the listing. I mean, I'm just saying, hey, this is the situation. So I think that there's a combination, right? Sellers are still being overly aggressive in their thought process about where they think the market is. And sometimes it's no amount of data that you can show them that will change their mind. You can talk to them about supply and demand. You can talk to them about all of that. But a lot of them are not really listening yet. So I anticipate that we're going to have a lot more people hurting in a little while, unfortunately. I like to in fact, I have, she's actually a friend of mine who closed on a deal yesterday in another state. And she was going back and forth with the HOA. And she said, well, maybe I said, listen, if you have a seller and they're ready to go to the table, make the main thing,
Yep.
and get that property off your
Yep.
books today. You can circle back and do whatever you need to do on the back end, but get rid of this house today. So those folks who are not really into the long-term hold, I'm advising them to kind of stay out of the market. And the other thing is, in working with investors, if they're not clear about their buy box, I won't work with them just simply because I don't have the time to be running all over town for them to just pick whatever. And so a lot of times people say, I'm an investor, but they have no clue what they're talking about.
Right.
So yeah, it's the same thing. Things are taking longer. I'm in the middle of a flip right now. Not a flip, but I'm in the middle of a rehab. I'm planning to hold that one. So I think that you're spot on in your observation.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Is that Jim?
Yeah, this is Jim. Good morning.
Yeah, we can hear you. Hey, Jim.
Hey, happy Friday.
Happy
Yeah,
Friday.
I want to echo her points, and I think the other thing that I think we need to be conscious of is what these tariffs could potentially do to building supplies, and the cost of rehab could be going up. But I think to her point, I think we have to be smart about reducing risk. And I think probably if you're going to buy something and it's a good deal, you just need to have more holding costs. It is going to come around, but I would just encourage everybody to not go back in the closet, but you really need to vet it out and you need to prepare yourself for what, if we're saying a year, it could be longer than that. Because you don't want to get stuck in a situation where, and I have two right now I'm trying to sell and I'm paying holding costs. So you just got to make
Yep.
sure whatever your holding costs are, whatever you're looking at, that you're extending that out and protecting yourself.
And especially like new people that are not used to fix and flipping. I mean, it's I call the holding cost is a silent killer, right? when you start adding up, when you finally sell the house, you make no money, you're negative, right? And we sold our properties now, and like we have to do to get the seller to buy, because we wanted to sell it fast. One thing that we learned, whatever it is, let's sell fast. We sold for the price, but we have to do like 10,000 credits for closing costs, which we did, gladly, because we sold in less than 6 weeks. But it's been very different. And like, if we say no, something happens, and then you carry. That's what I tell everybody that calls me, fix and flip. I said, you holding 5,000, 10,000, 2 months from now, you're already there. You've already minus that, holding those costs for 2 months. So get rid of now, sell it, and then move on to the next one, because sometimes it is what it is. You're not going to make a lot of money each property. And I like what Simon said here, because I am the same way as Simon. Like, I don't understand how there can be a housing shortage, but us fixing flippers can move our property. Seems contradictory. It is so true. This moment right now, when I analyze, I try, it does not make sense. So it's just just a time on the market. Yes.
I think also, Christiana, I think where you're probably going to move the homes are going to be the lower price homes, because people just aren't selling their homes with their low interest rates, right? So these people that are in three, four, five, $600,000 homes, they're sitting on those homes because they don't want to trade a 3% for a 6 or 7%. So that's also adding to the problem.
Yes.
Christian, I was going to say that same thing. The other thing is, first time buyers, they don't have the money, right? Many of them just do not. And for the sellers who don't have to move, that just want to move, right? They've got to be in a situation where they can. But at this point, my mind is saying I'm looking for situations more than I'm looking for a house. Meaning, there's always going to be divorces, transfers, death, those things where people have to sell. And as a realtor, I'm focused on those folks right now, rather than, hey, I just think I want to get an upgrade, or also focusing on people who need to sell but buy, have the capacity to do both for a while, hold two houses if they've got some cash. Just getting focused on that. I did read an article about the builders are giving so much in incentives for new construction, so that they're not holding those things, but things like buying down rates, extra closing costs, those sort of things. If you're in a market where you're competing with like new construction or options, you might be at a disadvantage if you're not really giving incentives to help these buyers get into these houses.
Interesting. Very
Yeah, to piggyback off that as well, I forgot, Christiane, when you asked, but actually just yesterday, I had a call with an agent friend of mine. He's actually one of the first people I met out here in 22. He he's an agent also, and I kind of introduced him to like creative finance as well. So he also does investing, flips or whatever. He did a few flips end of last year, top of this year, but they were all at a very low price point, like very, very low, in and out super quickly. And that's why he was like, hey, that's what's working. He's like, what's working for you? Because this market's super weird right now, like not what I expected at all. And he's like, I have 6 listings. He's like, but they're in great areas right now. So the retail side is kind of keeping me alive, and I haven't even like been investing a bunch. But his thing was like, there's certain pockets, like East Cobb, certain pockets in Kennesaw or Roswell, that it's days on market super low. Like again, there's one thing always noticed about East Cobb seemingly, that they're just gone immediately. Or even like Facebook groups, hey, looking for this, willing to rent something for $5,000 a month until this. And to me, I'm like, that's crazy. But so yeah, I meant to bring that up too. Just little pockets, I guess, where people decide to do seemingly you can be a little more liberal with your costs or buy box in certain areas. Which again, I'm completely ignorant to flipping, but yeah, it's interesting for
It's the
sure.
schools. Like when you notice that those houses
Yes,
go on and off really quickly, the driver of those things are schools. So
100%.
when you
Yeah.
think about, your investors and going into buying these properties, we look at, well, the house is inexpensive, Right. But you need to think about who your end buyer is going to be. And so for those areas that are moving fast, what I would say to you in your underwriting is look at the school districts and pay attention to those
Always, yeah.
school numbers before you go in spending a lot of money. It is not about the house as much as, if you're flipping to a family, you need to be thinking about what would be the driver for these folks. And more than
Mhm.
likely, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the schools.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to that point, I also have a deal right now in Polk, out here in East Cobb, and it's sitting for a little bit. Might be priced a little high, but yeah, I think people are being conservative. It's like, well, it's Roswell, but still Cobb County taxes. So again, I always think end buyer all the time as well, because I like to have my buy and holds in good school districts as well. But yeah, it's interesting. It's super
Jo-
interesting.
Hey,
Josh,
hey,
can you
guys,
introduce yourself just so people know what you do? Because I know some people in the chat is asking.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
know you. I've known you forever. Great
Yeah.
guy.
Appreciate it. My name is Josh. I guess I would say I specialize in seller finance in particular. I love, but I do sub two deals all the time as well. I just prefer to buy and hold seller finance deals. I'm a big proponent for seller finance over subject to. But yeah, I suppose creative finance acquisitions would be my specialty. Apparently, I'm pretty shitty at these cash wholesale deals because I'm coming in. It's been too long. I'm a little rusty. But yeah, so I would say seller finance, creative acquisitions would be my strong suit.
hey guys, I wanted to also mention this because I think we're discounting something really important here, and that's because of all these challenges that people are having with selling. This is a great time to buy if you're looking to buy and hold for an extended period of time. You can always, you can get something that doesn't need a lot of rehab. You can probably get something really, really good and maybe be able to turn around and rent it. And you can always come back and do some of the, if you have to do some rehab, do it later. So don't discount that
Yeah.
depending on where you are with finances and where your money is and what your buy box and your intentions are. This next year could be a great time to find some killer deals.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. So I had another deal in Sandy Springs that was brought to me, and I was kind of helping out to dispo it. And they were all like flip, 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 flip mentality. And I was like, listen, this little pocket of Sandy Springs, it was like right behind the Sandy Springs Performing Arts Center, like right there where there's a bunch of new builds and everything. And it was difficult to comp it because everybody's buying things and they're tearing them down and just building these $3 million houses. So, and this deal was at like it was sub 600 grand. So it was like there was a as is comps at like 780. So my logic was like, why don't you could likely get in there, give it it was kind of like what Jim was describing. It wasn't that bad of a rehab. It was a nice house as is, but you could likely get in there, renovate it nice enough, and then likely refinance, make more money than you would if you flipped it, but you also get to keep it and then you can rent it out in cash flow. That was my perspective, and it ended up selling on that exit strategy. So I think maybe also if you are a flipper, if you switch your perspective, you could still do really well. Because likely on that cash out refi, I mean, granted, where's Edgar? Where's our lenders in here? Edgar, Julian, like what's a solid refi? I'm seeing people advertise at 85% for a loan to value on a refinance, but how realistic is that? Does that depend on the location or?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Mhm.
Couple of things here, actually, from everything that was said so far. I'll address first the 85%. Yes, the 85% is available. However, there is a little bit of a caveat here that 85% is available. However, the DSCR ratio need to support the
Mhm.
the loan amount, and also the borrower need to have 720 FICO score plus in order to qualify for that. So between those two, sometimes it's especially with today's prices still high and the rents are not that high. It's kind of difficult to kind of meet this particular combination of matrix, but
Mhm.
it's available, especially on 2 or more units. That's become absolutely not a problem. Also, We have a program that almost nobody else have it. And this is where it's a super, super ninja strategy. If somebody has a 401k, IRA, saving on the side, something, we can substitute the rent with a portion. If somebody can show me 4 months of having this money available, last 4 months, we can actually use the portion divided by 60 months, and we can use that amount of money to add to the rent in order to satisfy the DSCR ratio. And that 85% will be not a problem at all to do that. So those are a couple of things that we can definitely use. And all the people who's struggling with selling the houses and need to keep it, instead of 1 year paying 12% hard money or PML, 20% or whatever the percentage is, I strongly suggest them to consider refinance with a 1 or 2 year prepay even, and getting into the DSCR to get a cheaper holding cost, right? And that could be kind of solution to not lose extensive amount of money. The other thing back to the real estate was that, I mean, I have a client for a conventional primary residence loan. He cannot find a house in Alpharetta and Jones Creek. Multiple offers for every house. So everything is location. And if you go to Mercedes-Benz area, I just pulled up yesterday, 34 houses on a 0.25 radius.
Wow.
When your house will be selling? Not anytime soon.
Julian, can I ask you something? The properties that you said, the multiple offers in Alpharetta, Jones Creek,
Yeah.
what is the price point?
500,000-600,000.
Wow, that's
Wow.
pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So East Coast, same thing. So it really depends. A lot of people are optimistic, and the back to the other comment about people cannot qualify, I mean, for a loan and don't have money. That's not necessarily true. The money are not necessarily a problem, because if today's market dictate that the seller can be supposed to be more open to finance the closing costs, and if somebody comes to me to get a mortgage and I can give them a 2% non-payback towards closing, towards the down payment, and they need to come up with 1%, come on, guys. People spend in Starbucks more money than the down payment here. So just the perception of, oh, it's too expensive, too much money. No, just whoever is committed to buy a house, they can put some plan to save a little bit of money, find somebody with me, like me, that can give them additional 2% towards the down payment. I can even, and actually there is another program that we have that we can do a 2-1 buy down, pay by us. What that means, if it's 6.125 today, the interest rate, they will get 4.125 year one and 5.125 year two.
And you're talking
How
about
cool
home
is that?
buyer. You're
Yeah,
talking about
how
home
cool is
buyers,
that?
right? The
Yeah.
primary, yeah. I mean,
So, but if all those flippers put me as a preferred lender, I'll be able to offer all this to their clients, right? To their potential buyers, and can help them sell the houses faster, right? So that's one way. The other way, what I said before, all these flippers should be consider refinance, buy keep the houses for a year or two on a lower holding cost, potentially rent it out to be break even if they have to. Consider taking the depreciation as potentially saving on taxes. So there are a few other things that can be considered and explored versus just raising hands and say, hey.
Yeah, see, that's my logic too. But again, I'm not a flipper like at all. I have no desire to be. But I was like, oh well, there's obviously other ways that
No,
you could
but what I'm
likely
saying,
extract
Josh,
capital out of the deal, right?
yeah, but Josh,
Mhm.
if somebody comes to you about, hey, I have 40,000 a month overhead, then
Yeah.
probably you should give my number to talk about it.
Oh, I
Because
passed your number out quite a bit. I
yeah,
think
so could
between you,
be
Edgar, and
uh,
Cristiano, I'm sending everybody's number out way too much. And Peter's actually.
so
Yeah,
yeah, so those
uh,
kind of few things.
Cr-
So
Crystal has a question. Crystal.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Julian on the second program on the M buyer, was that also a 720 score?
not at all.
Okay, what
Not at
what's
all.
that
It's
look like?
the 720 is for the 85% DSCR
Right.
loans, not necessarily the primary residence. No, it should be still need a decent 660, 680, but in order to get the best of the best. But of course, we have all the other FHA and everything else programs, but I'm talking about specifically those unique programs that we have for, and those are conventional, not even FHA. So in other words, you will compete better if you have a conventional loan to offer to the seller versus FHA. So we still can do 3% down on a first time home buyer with conventional loans. So it's pretty.
Yeah.
Okay,
Chris,
thank you.
sorry, Chris. Hey, I'm still here, guys. I'm here the whole time.
I know.
I'm
Go ahead. I'm late. Go ahead.
no, you wonder where guys. I'm out scoping some properties. So like I say, we've got some deals in the works. So it's just, but the second I drop, my son off this morning, I was like, well, let me take the opportunity a little bit while we're in the Zoom. And I was out, and we had some inspection and things like that. But I'm out looking at some properties, so that's why I'm a little bit quiet. So sorry.
Oh,
I was doing an inspection. So yes.
Okay. Peter has a question or
Yeah, Julie,
comment.
yeah, specifically for Julian, you were talking about an area where you had seen many properties that were listed for sale. What area was that specifically? I missed that.
30314, 30318, Mercedes-Benz area and Grove Park, all this west area.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now, Julian.
That's good.
I felt
There's
like
a lot
that
of
wasn't.
construction, guys.
I felt like with that conversation, Julian, you were kind of saying that it was not a good area to be in
No,
because there's so
I'm
many
not
houses
saying
available.
good or bad. It's just not selling anytime soon, and you have a lot of competition. If you want to sell, you need to slash the price. And if you bought it wrong back in the days, then you're stuck. You either lose
Correct.
money or you do something else.
Yeah,
But
that's where Pat is. That's where I am, and it's just days on market is insane right now. Down
yeah,
Guys, but to let you know, like it's not my area of choice in terms of to do fix and flip. But as I'm driving and I'm in the area, because I've done work, as I'm actually doing work there now, but it's a different type of strategy, right? Like it's not fix and flip. We're not selling these properties, but all I see every other house is renovation, renovation, renovation. What does that tell me, guys? Is this, just to look at different angles? Is this the '08 of now? Is this the next cycle of '08, right? So what do we do with all this inventory? And why are people still rehabbing all these properties? Like why? Like that's the question, right? Like if it's not great and it's not selling, then why are there so many renovations? And there's still a lag in the home and the opportunities, There's
Hey,
still a lag.
Pat, doesn't it feel like in those areas, and I don't mean to just go off on that area, but it feels like in that area down there that the money's moving in, but they're doing new build. They're breaking down the old stuff and they're putting up new stuff as opposed to trying to fix up. Like
and
what
that
we
will
did
be
is
a
just
big competition for the fix and flippers as well, because you have a brand new house versus the cave 800 square foot house.
yes.
So nobody wants to
Agreed.
live anymore in that. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
But this is where I think Chris and I we And the direction that we're moving is not the fact that we're not buying it to sell it, but we're getting into these good deals not to sell it, but to get to do co-living, to have other exit strategies, to hold it a little bit longer, to get, a sub 2-3% deal. Does that make sense? Like I think there's opportunity, right? So going back to from the beginning, it's like, where's the opportunities? Like what are we missing? Where are the
I mean,
opportunities?
I haven't seen, a lot of stuff, at least for, uh, what we were seeing before. We thought this year is going to be a little bit better, but I'm still here. I'm buying. I have my buy box, and I'm just going to wait, until I find something that makes sense. I think the market now, and Julian, you can kind of, say your piece. But for me, I feel like all the fundamentals, everything's kind of off. It doesn't make sense, right? Because we're like, okay, there's a shortage of inventory, too many houses on the market, things are not moving, but interest rates are coming down, and like it became a buyer's market, but you cannot find deals as an investor. So we're in a very interesting phase of the economy. It feels weird to me,
Yeah,
And
absolutely. You're absolutely right.
yeah, see, that's I'm like,
But
okay, so
Yeah, just
but on another angle, guys, I have this quick story that I always talk about, right? So back in '08, I had 5 properties, and I crashed all properties but one. That's the one that I was living in. And my brother and my 2 older brothers watched me and saw what I was doing. But then in '08, when I crashed all those properties, they went in and they bought like 20 properties in Clayton County for 20,000 a piece on average. And now they're retiring off those properties, off the interest, off the rental, off the cash flow. Is this another '08? Just for someone to think
yeah.
about. Because last year we bought like 6 properties, at 5,000 entry fee, at 10,000 entry fee, at 15,000 entry fee, at 25,000 entry fee. Are we in another '08? This opportunity to gobble it up? Maybe not cash, but sub two, creative, Burr. Are we in that? Like, where's the curve, and when are we going to be on the right side of the curve? Are we at a flat? Is it going to dip a little bit? Those are all the stuff that I question.
I think Sharika was gonna say something.
yeah. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'll take my
Hi.
video off here. Hi, good morning.
Oh, hey,
So,
Sharika.
yeah, good morning, Josh. How are
What's
you?
up? Amazing.
So
How are
Hey,
I
you?
girly, I haven't seen you in forever.
I know. Hi, Tisha. We got to connect.
Yeah.
So I was looking at FMLS stats yesterday because I've been hearing all of you guys and everybody's kind of saying exactly pretty much the same thing. And in the FMLS, what I found very interesting was you can look it up by zip code. So I was looking up 30028, for example, just to throw it out there. In 2024, February of 2024, there was it was a 2.6 months supply of inventory, and then you have now a 4.1. Then I was looking up just random zip codes, and essentially what I found is that from last year to this year, like, okay, for example, 30041 zip code, the inventory went up from 1.7 months to 4.8. And so there's longer, not only just the months of inventory that means they're staying on the market for much longer, which means these areas, when people ask me, oh, Sharika, what's the market like? I always tell them it depends. Where are you asking about? What zip code? What local? It's all local. So if we're talking about, certain areas, it's turned from, 1.7 months means it was a seller's market, and then 4.8 is a heavy balanced market, almost going into a buyer's market. When we're 6 to 9 months of inventory, we're in a buyer's market. And this has happened very quickly in the sense that I think the last 3 months have been very surprising to me that the market has shifted in a lot of these areas where, I think the people who started their renovations last year are kind of it's an eye opener for them because they're staying now, what they anticipated to be 2024 or getting better is, now longer days on market. So I'm seeing it from the numbers that we are on longer days on market. So it's a great opportunity to look for properties, but also at the same time, you can't time the curve like how Pat was saying, you can't time it. So this might be the time. But the tricky part is to kind of educate even the seller about it, or the whoever is trying to sell their property, to show them the stats that, hey, you think your house is worth this much, and yet it's really not, because there's a high risk in purchasing it at the price that they want, considering the days on market and how everything is going. So you have to be really careful as an investor, even now, to really negotiate that price and go for the go in with the right number for the purchase. Otherwise, you are going to end up holding it, if you can even hold it. If you didn't calculate that, then, we're investors here, but we got to really be careful that we don't end up buying a property that becomes a burden. And if you don't do your numbers correctly, the opportunities are definitely out there, but I think that it's just a lot of back and forth to really figure out, between the seller and the buyer, and educate them about why. And seller might want a price all day long, but buyers are not gonna budge, because that's just the way of, like, the economy is. Like, since January, the people don't have faith in the economy right now. Not to get political or anything, but there's been a lot going on. So affordability is a huge issue for people. Jobs are being like cut, left and right, federal jobs. So we're here, and as investors, we've been making really good money, and we've been doing really well, as agents. And then it's like everything slowed down. Like, why isn't anyone buying anymore? So anyway, that's my 2 cents about it, if that helped anybody at all.
I'm going to jump in real quick, because what you said like hits me and my wife so hard, because I wish I would have heard you say that about a month or two ago, because we, I sort of fought our agent and my wife in terms of listing our property down in that area that Julian was just talking about, in Grove Park. And I was my thought process was, we can't come in low or at market, because there's not going to be a bidding war at this point. We're past bidding wars. It's not happening for properties like this. So my idea was to come in 20,000 over, 25,000 over, and it's been sitting now. Now we haven't been on market. We've been on market about 30 days now, but 30 days, you got holding costs, everything else. And now we're bringing it down and bringing it down and bringing it down. And it's interesting, because who knows if we had just listed it out, we originally what they had thought it should be listed for, if it would have moved already. But the market is so strange right now. It's
what, that happens a lot with people like fighting their agent, and you get to a point where you are chasing the market down, and then it becomes a battle between you and your agent, because you're thinking that your agent maybe is like telling you to take a deal that's not good. But oftentimes we hear that. I actually went under contract with a property in Powder Springs, where the property was priced exactly right, and we went into a bidding war. My clients got the property, it was $700,000 property. We went in 5,000 over. So I tell people, you cannot underprice a property, right? If it's priced right and it's what people want, you will get into that bidding war. If it's overpriced, it is going to sit, and you're going to end up losing more money by holding it and then chasing those, the price reductions, than if you had just priced it right to begin with.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been a really good learning experience for sure.
Yes,
Thank
I
you
agree
for sharing
too.
that, though. Thank you for sharing that.
Guys, just not to change direction on it, but I do a lot of driving. I drive to Atlanta like all the time, man. I go through every nooks and cranny in every parts of Atlanta, and it just, let me tell you, I grew up in Atlanta, and it's like every corner I see growth, I see opportunity, I see changes. Growth, opportunity, I see changes, and it's changing dramatically, right? Like, for example, I think who went to the meetup last night? Ronnie, were you there last night? So
What meetup, Pat?
the meetup. Ronnie, can you tell us about the meetup last night? Oh, so she's working. Sorry, Ronnie. I mean to put you on thing. So,
Sorry. It was pretty good. It was good. Julian was there as well.
So
Um,
tell about the meetup. What is the meetup about?
Michael Manatikanian purchased a few co-living properties, and he did it through fractional and got some investors through fractional. So he was just, giving a tour of one of the properties that he did and showing how he changed it from a 2-1, I think it was. I know it was a duplex. I can't remember how many bedrooms it had originally. Five,
5-2.
5-2, and then he changed it to a 7-3, and it had two kitchens or a kitchen and a kitchenette. But yeah, it was just walking through his property there.
but that area, Ronnie, even that, that area, oh my gosh, like if you know Lakewood and driving through it, there's so much renovation, there's so much rehab
It's true.
that
I was telling Julian because across the street you could see that, the houses there were recently renovated.
there's so many houses here, and it's even more because I've been going towards the west side a lot more, right? The west side, West End, Pittsburgh, that area, and I've seen Oakland City. I've seen so much changes, but this area, it's I thought it was going to take a while, right? I was like knowing the history of the Lakewood area and things like that, but I think the the overflux of people from Grant Park and people needing, like, we're talking about city, right? I'm not talking about outside of the city, but the city is just, it keeps pushing out and pushing out. And yeah, it's there's a lot of, I didn't get a chance to go, but I know the area because I'm driving through the area constantly. I'm actually driving through the area now. So,
Oh yeah. I mean, it was my first time in that area. I I don't go to Atlanta a lot. So like I don't know what zip codes mean and what kind of areas, whatever. I'm in Cobb and I don't leave
yes, yes,
Cobb. So
yes.
when I drove in first, of course, I saw graffiti and I'm like, okay. But
You
it
got
was
scared, Ronnie.
it was a little eye-opening for me, but yeah, I mean, you could see that there are investors in there, so I don't know.
But just to talk about that area, guys, we're talking about Lakewood here, right? This is where they went. They had a co-living property there. If you look at the average homes there, they're 200K, right? You can get a really good deal for, you know, maybe 150K. But just think about this, right? Now, like you guys can put this on paper. You can put this down. 3 years from now, I can guarantee you it's not going to be 200K.
Yeah.
You know, it might be 350, but it's not going to be 200K on average.
Hear that, Julian? Kidding. Teasing him.
Yes. But right, don't you think,
I
Ronnie?
don't
Because I'm
know.
I'm here in the
Sorry.
area.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the
No,
question?
I was just teasing you, Julian. Pat was saying that in that area, the house prices will go up to about 300, 350.
No,
No,
I said the area.
the sad part was that this guy have, in my opinion, not the best product, not the best house, but for overpriced price. That's what I think personally, because um, it's it's in the area where, like he mentioned, that the amount that he have the house for is like 300,000 or a little more than that. And when you see the house, it's like need the rehab today, even though it just finished the rehab. That's how it is. And people have different standards. People don't care. They think, oh, because it's pet split, they need to do like like crap. But sorry, that's my personal opinion. And to me, the amount of money they spend, I could have a brand new house, and I will very soon. And I'll show everybody in a co-living that there is a better way. So that's all. And it's like really different people have different standards.
Yeah.
Yes. I wasn't there, but I was talking about the area because I dig deep into the area a lot.
So Pat, the area is this, and the guy actually said it, $170. So he had to squeeze seven bedrooms where you need to like kind of almost like difficult to even get in, like very small, but he need the seven in order to kind of make it work
That's
because
low, yeah.
because $170 and not 250 or 280 like the other areas. And then 7 bedrooms with 3 bathrooms. Think about how these people will get dressed and go to work every morning, but that's another story. And then they will have a big competition there, and he mentioned that as well.
But
So
but Julian, that's typical though. 7 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms in co-living. And Pat and Christiana, let me know if that's wrong. That seems reasonable
Yeah,
to you
and just
guys,
so you
right?
guys understand, like from my experience, people have different shifts. It's not like us, family, wake up like my life. I wake up at 6:30, send the kids to school. Everybody has different. They come and go in different times of day. So it's not like they're like knocking on a door. Like we never had any issues. And I talk with all the investors. There's not any issues. And usually our property in Mapleton, we have four bathrooms, but three of them are private. So three people share one bathroom, no issues, because they don't work the same shifts, guys. You talk about people that are working different, blue collar kind of people. So they work in the evening, another one they have two shifts. They barely see each other. The thing,
no, that's great. That's great. But this property was to me like really,
no, but
really great. This will be like your properties are completely different than this property.
yeah.
So
And I think you're right, Julian. You got to do whatever is good for you, right? Like I do my properties the way that I like for me because I want to serve those people. I want to make sure they're taken care of and also build nice properties and hold nice properties. And Julian, you're doing the same thing. I can't wait to see. I want to get to what you're doing. Later. So amazing.
yeah. So the other thing is that they will
No,
be they
my
mentioned
point
that
is, can I just say one thing? There's no right or wrong, guys. There's no right
absolutely,
or
of
wrong. Do
course,
whatever
of
you
course.
think. Yes. Okay.
But
Go ahead.
my opinion is like if they're gonna do $1,000 on this property where it's 7 bedrooms and they all too much and they will be barely doing $1,000 a month. That's what it is from 7 bedrooms. Okay.
Yeah, maybe work for them. Like for me, I want to see at least 1,500 at least. My co-living, I make at least 2,000 cash flow, real cash flow. So that's what I like. But I build properties that people are gonna pay a higher premium to have a TV or to have, I have cleaners coming out twice a month. Do you see, like, if they call, we get our handyman there the next day, the same day sometimes. So it's you build your business and you charge whatever you think the market's
Thank
gonna be
you.
paying for. Pat, you said something?
No, he's talking to somebody else.
Let me mute him.
That needs to mute.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm here.
You
Sorry.
back.
No, but give me 1 second here. Go ahead. What was that, Chris? Sorry, I was
No,
in the
we were
middle.
just talking about co-living, pad split. What makes sense for some people does not make sense for other ones, and like you do what you do with your business, right?
From what I saw, guys, and again, I'm very just like, to me, it's about like understanding the area, right? And the structure part, I don't know because I wasn't there, but as I scope out different areas, I don't know about their business model and their plan, but for the area, it works. The co-living really works for that area. Can I tell you? In this area, I'm actually in the area right now, so it does work. But how they structure it and how much rooms they can create and space for it, cramming it in may not work. I think you have a little bit extra space, but if they have I would probably add an extra bathroom if I was in their shoes. From what Julian said, I would definitely have more bathrooms. You guys there, Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, the kitchens were like super small, and even though there are two kitchens, it's like I mean, the whole layout was pretty awful to me, but that's my personal
Yes, yes.
opinion. Hopefully,
No,
I wish them
yeah.
luck. It's like,
Yes, I mean, even Pat and I, we disagree on a lot of stuff, like I want to own co-living properties. He wants to own certain types and, but just the way I'm going to stick with my plan,
But I agree with her
and
most
go
of the
with it
time.
because he sees, like, I'd rather own 10 properties that make beautiful properties, make good cash flow, than own 100 that you're making the same cash flow. Do you guys see what I mean? Like, does it make sense? Anyone?
exactly. So if I have 6 bedrooms versus 7, but I make more money from the 6, why
Yeah,
need 7, right?
yeah, exactly. I'm not buying areas that I don't like, that I don't think depreciation is going to do well. I
But
want
the other thing,
everything, right? I want everything to make sense,
yes,
right?
the other thing is like every rental, your most amount of cost and is the turnover, right?
Oh,
If you have somebody leave for a couple of months and go, and then another person need to be in and out, or you want something that people say, "Oh my God, I'm not living here at all. I'm staying here for extended period of time,
yeah,
say 9, 10,
yeah.
11, 1 year or more," then your ROI become completely different in the end.
Yeah, because
So,
we were Macarena and I were on Edgar Nós Outros meetup. We did a Zoom this time, but we were talking about because we get a lot of questions like, "Oh, Atlanta is saturated, right?" But it's not saturated. Now the residents have choices because people like Macarena, myself, we came and upgrade everything, right? We're
yeah.
providing homes. It's not just putting dorms, bad dorms for people. So
Mhm.
if people have every 6 weeks, they have a choice to go somewhere else, where do you think they're going? And what happens when they go to those nice places? They're going to stay, guys. It's
Mhm.
worth the extra stuff that you put. Trust me, So it's not saturated. It's just, deliver good product. All right, guys, I think we're coming to an end. It's 10:10. Anybody has any questions, concerns, anything that you want to say, comment?
Hey, it's Doug. Can I ask if anybody knows the
Yeah,
this
Doug.
one nook of Decatur? So it's 30032. It's down where south of Memorial Drive, and then where I-20 and 285 meet.
The
It's
zip code is a good zip code. The zip code is a good zip code. The actual if it's closer to I-20, depending on, are you closer to 285? It depends on the street, right? So it's a good zip code, right? So
yeah,
and
that's
then
what
what
I
do you
know
want to use it
from
for?
uh somebody I know is asking. She's asking why is there so much activity down there right now?
Like, and okay, this is another Zoom, right? It's the same thing as, like, we're here at whether it's what is it here, Chosenwood, or we're here at Lakewood.
Yep.
It depends on the street. Is
Yep.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
I tell people this down, it depends on the street. You're in a good zip code, but is the street good, and what do you want to do with that street? Do you want to flip it? Do you want to sell it? Do you want to do long-term rental, co-living? It
Yeah.
depends on the street.
She'd likely
Uh,
be flipping it. Go ahead.
So
Julian,
flipping it right now in that area is hard.
So yeah,
I
it
I
seemed
would
yeah.
stay away from Decatur, guys. Like, my opinion. I want to hear from Julia's perspective, but let me tell you, we just closed on our deals in Decatur and took forever. I mean, we bought it wrong, right? Like, I think we make money when you buy. We learned from the lesson, but we're so glad we're able to get rid of those properties. And I tell Pat, no more Decatur. Julia, do you see the
So
same thing?
then
Like, it's a lot of
so
Yeah,
homes. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And I was in Decatur in 2018 and 19. It was great because it was a very desirable. And then lately, really, a lot of people struggling with that.
yeah,
Same
okay.
like the West, right? I mean, the West area was booming, West End, this, that, back in the days, and now it's struggling as well. So it's
it's the up and downs, right?
Well,
up and down.
would you buy and hold in that area right now? And again, I grew up over
I'm
there,
not.
so I'm like, it's Memorial Drive. I remember when it was all gunshots when I was in college
Yeah, but
in that part.
you're talking Memorial Drive is a little bit different.
Well, and then it
Yeah.
goes south, but the
Yes.
roads that I remember from down over there, it's like it seems like I want to be as west in 30032 as possible. I want to be as close to Decatur proper and Scottsdale,
Yes. That's
Oh
not where I-20 and 285 meet. That really becomes Hood and
Yeah,
problematic.
we have our co-living properties, East Lake. I'll buy there anytime. Like
no, East Lake is different. Yeah. Yeah.
we were under contract, another one there. I mean, Julian, we did the loan, and it didn't go through, unfortunately, but I would buy there any day. It's amazing, like our property. That's why we kept it and made into a co-living. And the appraisal went really well. We buy the golf course. I mean, our kids go to Inter Atlanta. That's the soccer here in the city. 2026, the soccer are coming. So in Inter Atlanta is just like going all and buying all land down there. So everything in that area is going to do really well. I mean, Pat can talk more about it, but everywhere that Inter Atlanta opens, soccer field, all the parents moved in, or, like there's a lot of people migrating to that area. They make everything better. Inter Atlanta moved to Arizona. How long ago, Pat, right? Yeah, and I remember going there, like sometimes we'd see shooting, like our kids were there, like, people like the PR, like, oh, there's just a shooting, it's nothing. And now it's totally different population. It's amazing. You guys drive there, the Bell Line. I mean, watch for those things. Where are those people going? And I'm gonna follow them, right? So,
Okay.
where are they going next, Pat? Glenwood?
So Glenwood Park. So it's right there what he said, but you get closer to Glenwood Park. I forgot what it's called. Glenwood. I have to look at the name of it.
Glenwood Road area and
It's on
East Lake
Glenwood, but
Terrace.
the park is called. Hold on a second here. Give me 1 second. I'm driving to
Shoal Creek Park.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. Shoal Creek Park is where the soccer team bought a park, and they're going to do the academy there.
So yeah,
because this is the largest. This is the largest soccer like academy in Atlanta, like in the city of Atlanta. Right. So just imagine like this soccer park that's going to be in a predominantly African American area, and it's going to be full of white kids. They're just playing soccer, and then usually their parents would buy around, the coaches would buy around there. So that's
Yeah,
how fast it grows.
2026, we hosting soccer, some games. So it's just going to make it even more popular, guys. I come from a country, for that, soccer is, I love soccer. And I've seen my kids doing soccer for like 10 years, 7 years, whatever. And I've seen the interest, like Inter Atlanta has a waiting list. It's growing so much. 2026 is going to be crazy. And everywhere they go, we notice the real estate in the area, like it's crazy. What is the zip code? I think Edgar is asking, Pat.
303-30032. That's the same zip code that he said. It's the same too, but you got to know the street. So it's not just only zip code.
No,
right?
it's
zip code and
Ebony, Ebner. Sorry.
Yeah. So where the East Lake Golf Course is, this kind of heads straight east.
The closer to the East Lake, the better you are. The closer to East Lake, the better you are.
Yeah, it's really that rolling one street at a time and just knowing which streets have been rehabbed.
That's correct.
Or safe now. All right.
Yes.
Hey, thanks guys for the input.
Doug, the other comment I would make, you asked about the zip code in general. Obviously, it's a big place. There's a lot of different streets. The other issue is what's the goal, right? If you're doing a fix and flip, you're going to want to avoid parts of 3032 for sure. But as you get closer to East Lake, it'd be a great fix and flip. But some of the other more hood areas, right? If you get it at the right property, might be a great co-living situation. So it's so much of it, back to some of the other comments that have been made. Real estate is so local. What do you want to do in that local area? What's the goal? So, and the other comment I want to make is on what Pat said earlier. Are we in a 2008, right? And none of us has a crystal ball. Nobody knows the answer to that question, Pat. But what I would say is we are definitely not post September 2008, right? 2008 was a different, some of you are this call are too young to even remember exactly what happened. But that was a complete credit market collapse, right? That was a catastrophe. The prices dropped drastically and overnight. Some of those lower end neighborhoods we're talking about lost 50% value in a day, right? So we're clearly not there, but we're in a market that requires, you really have to mitigate your risk, right? You have to have multiple exit strategies. You have to be super careful on your underwriting. You have to, your exit strategy has to be crystal clear before you go in. That's the bottom line. And I mean, I would say you need to always do that when you're investing in real estate, right? And it's the typical cycle when things are super, super hot. We take more risk. We get cavalier. And this is you can be cavalier in a super hot market, although I don't recommend it. But right now, you just have to do everything you possibly can to reduce your risk. That's the bottom line.
And yeah, but you're so right. I mean, you're so right. And that area, just talking about that area, like these guys, I'm all up and down here. I'm almost done, but I'm going to show you guys here, just so you guys can see here. How do I switch this? This is, so I was in that area, Ronnie, where you guys were last night. How do I switch this? Oh, I don't know how to work this thing here. There you go. Look at this, guys. This is what is it called? Benton Park, right? There's a bar called Reds. So literally about a year and a half ago, these homes, and I looked at probably 3 of these homes. They were like 160. Like 160. Now these homes are in the 400s. Like this little area right here. And this is just not far from where you guys were, Ronnie. Like it's not far. Like this is how fast it went up. It's just amazing how fast, the market can turn. And I know we're gonna hit it stagnant, but I mean, it's like the other lady said, they're not to get political, but don't you guys think that this is another house. Chris, look at this house here. I don't know if you can see from here.
Yes.
It's in the back, like this one. You remember we looked at this house, Chris? Like it's on what is the name of this road here? Benton. We're on Benton. I remember this guy. I remember talking to him and his dog. He's still here. And this is the house here. And I think he was like, you remember this house right here? It had a basement. And there was a duplex, right? But it was like it was 140. I remember it was 140. And now it's 450, that range. But it's just, again, that was just a few years ago, But yeah, I mean, those are the stuff that we, which curve are we going to be in, and I think to close us out, guys, it's just that if we can come together and we can raise capital and we can build out. There was talking about that. Where's Julian? There was on this same corner right here. There was a townhome that's being developed that was coming up. I mean, guys, I would love to get into new builds and build townhomes. That's one of my those are one of my goals. But yeah, I've been driving up and down this morning in this areas. I was in Lakewood. I was just looking at different areas, different houses. I stopped by a coffee shop just to see. I always stop by a coffee shop to kind of see the area, see how much it's changed. It's definitely an area that is, that has growth. The key question is how much growth is it going to have, and where are we going to stay when we're done? And there's one more property, Chris. I think you and I looked at. I think it's this one right here. And this is a 2-lot. This is by Grant Park, and it's large enough to build on a lot, but it's on a gravel road. You know what? I came to the backside. But anyways, guys, so I'm just rambling, but I'm just trying to see opportunities. Like when is the time? What do we have?
Wow,
The only
look
thing
at
that
that.
I do know was that, Chris.
No, just the trash there.
I know. But guys, when I see trash, I see opportunities. When I see old homes in all beat up areas, I try to see what's around it, what's going on with the neighborhood. But if we could get together and we can tackle, a development, a townhome, some we can scale co-living. This is the house actually. This is that one. This is the other one. And we can scale co-living. I mean, there's so many opportunities out there. I think that the key, the goal, at least for me, is to kind of do it together as a group. I think this house may be under contract already. I think it is.
Okay, Pat. So
it is definitely contract. Yeah, this is the one.
I'm ready for you to start door knocking, Pat.
What's that?
I'm ready for you to start door knocking.
I will do it.
Let's do a live.
And then just show them the Zoom. Can we all buy your house?
Yes.
We got cash.
We should do that. Yes.
All right, guys. All right. We're done for today, Pat.
I know. Yes.
You guys have a great weekend.
Tracy, I'm sorry, Tracy. We never got to get Tracy on.
I know.
I don't know if she's still there. Tracy, I'm
here.
sorry.
Don't worry. It's okay. It's been great listening. And, for when I do my candy stores in Atlanta, I need to know this stuff. So I'm listening.
Well, you know what we're going to segue, guys? We're going to segue, Tracy. Tracy, before you say that,
let me see the cupcakes.
Wait, Tracy, wait 1 second. I just want to say, guys, before Tracy, I wanted to talk about women and women entrepreneurship, and I want to talk about business and small business because I think the series that we're going to segue into is just small business cash flow. As we talk about real estate is a good thing to hold money, but it can also make you go broke very fast. I personally understand that. I know this. So with that being said, we cash flowing into small business, into cash flow and things like that. When I crashed in 2008, when all the properties, I got the few money that I had left. I saved that money and I bought a business, got into a business. That's what happened. And then I have been a small business owner for the past 20 years. And then I'm finally, once the pandemic hit, I finally decided to get into real estate again. So,
He's gone.
He's muted.
So what are you cooking, Chase?
I'm back. So I have to, my baker quit. So this is the small, I'll give you this little hint here, is that I have entry-level employees. And so my baker quit at Christmas. And so, and January is a terrible month and February is not great. And I've been in Charlotte. So I come back and I have like a system where I can bake enough for the month. And then, because I don't have the time to train someone and make sure, I'd have to be here every week to make sure they're doing it right. So for right now, I'm in a holding pattern. So I'm back making cupcakes. Yay!
That's what it is.
See?
Small business owner. Wow, looks great.
I know. We do the things we have to do. I flew in last night. I'm here for 2 days and I go back on Sunday. And then I'm hopefully going to open my next store on Monday. So down there. So I'm excited. So.
Oh, congratulations.
So I'd be happy to talk business anytime, the ups, the downs, the sads, the crying, all the things with business. So,
all right.
And the successes. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you, Tracy. But the best thing is to marry real estate and business, to put the two together.
Make your money and put it into something that will last you, for sure.
Exactly. Yes. Business credit, business, just all things business. So, yes.
All right, guys.
And real estate and entrepreneurship is a business. So, all right, guys, bye. I don't talk, Chris.
Okay, guys, have a great week, great weekend, great next week, and I'll see you guys on Friday.
Bye.
Bye.